The abdominal section of Journey into Power is called stability. After all the vast opening of the igniting sequence, the abdominal muscles, the core muscles, work to just stabilize. There are 4 different exercises in this section. We've got the 60-30 lifts where the legs are gently lowering. We've got scissor legs. We've got abdominal twists. And finally, boat pose is the only actual yoga pose in this sequence of 4 movements. The 60-30 lifts. Helpful to have the hands under the hips to keep the pelvis neutral. 2 legs up in the air. So sometimes someone might add pulsing to this. Lowering the legs is the standard way that we tend to do this. Hands under the hips keeps the pelvis neutral, helps us keep the core engaged. We'd never want the back to arch and the abdominal muscles to be standing out, not in these exercises. So then to lower the legs, they lower part of the way to the floor, and on a breath, part of the way more. Right about here is where you may feel some straining in your lower back. For some of you, don't go lower. Maybe bend a knee. Maybe just lower one leg at a time. You'll have to listen to your own body to know which way to go. Finally, there'd be the last lowering, and lift the head to look at the toes, and then the legs back up in the air to the floor. Now the scissor legs. I've seen them done 2 different ways. So legs up in the air, maybe it's just a switching. Keeping the legs strong, not rolling out, and rather than them working from the quad to the hips, this quality of from my abdominal muscles ascending the limb away and drawing it back in. Now the abdominal twists. Shins parallel to the floor, feet active, fingertips behind your ears and curl up. Once you're curled up, stay curled up. And then you just twist, bringing elbow and shoulder toward the knee, fully straightening the opposite leg. You can really feel the work in your abdominal muscles there. Last, with all of that work, a boat pose. Boat pose can be done in a lot of different ways. It's when your body takes the shape of a letter V. Now to get started with boat pose, it can be enough to just learn to sit up really tall rather than hanging back in the back of your pelvis. So maybe it's hands on your knees, or hands behind you. The next step to add challenge is to bring your feet off of the ground. So maybe they come up just a little bit, or hands behind your thighs as you learn to just keep your thigh bone sinking down into the bottom point of the V. Now, this is a forward fold. What we've learned about forward folds is the separating of the sitting bone and the heel are what stretch the hamstrings. So if your hamstrings are a little bit tight, this pose will be challenging to fully straighten the legs inside of the pose. And so when you know that that's where the work is, it can make you feel a little bit more okay about this is where I am in the pose and this is what I'm working on. That could look something like this. It could look like the legs are just here. You're working to sit tall. Maybe we even are working here. In time, your legs straighten and you sit tall, and that pose is boat pose.